tonight.
At the same time, we are very grateful to Global Kairos for Justice. They have been our partners all along, but this special program, they have given us special support. So we are indeed privileged to be in this ecumenical network, a campaign of justice for the Palestinians. And today our focus would be on the lethal seas of Gaza. And to get us off into this webinar, we have our moderator for the day, John Dayal. If you were to ask anyone in India who is the leading Christian voice on issues of justice, human rights, the answer would be John Dayal, who is one of the top journalists of our time, who has been all over the world, in fact, writing on several issues and concerns. And the answer is John Dayal. And even now, as we were just briefly talking, he was mentioning about the farmers' agitation that is going just in his neighborhood. And so there is that concern for rights, human rights, dignity everywhere, and the concern to fight against powers, corporate powers, powers which are globalizing the world according to their whims and fancies, military designs. And in all this, you see one person, John Dayal, writing and being active. So over to you, John Dayal, to moderate our session.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you indeed. But you went into etymology of Gaza. If you had gone into the etymology of lethal, life would be clearer and the issue would be clearer. Because lethality in the responses of extreme groups, in the responses of extreme governments, of extreme leaders, is what brings together many of us, the people of Palestine and particularly the people of Gaza, the people of India and particularly the people of Delhi, the city I live in, the people of many other countries in South Asia, Africa, and Latin America will continue to suffer. And they are what you have called the larger humanity, larger civil society, to which we normally speak, whose help we seek, whose prayers we want, whose solidarity is towards which webinars like this are designed. I told you I am speaking from Delhi, and a few meters, maybe 200 meters away from me, is the Meerut Expressway, the scene of a militant clash between farmers who want a living wage for their labor in the field and a government determined to see every dissent as treason, to see every dissent as an attack on Hinduism, to see every dissent as sedition. They have been beating up farmers, arresting farmers. The situation in Delhi is very fraught. And after a very long time, the middle class, the elite of the national capital really understand what it means to be under siege, what it means when your own government, when the people set upon by God, as the Bible said, to rule on you, start devouring you. And that is the situation where we speak about Gaza. I have a particular personal interest in Gaza. My father used to serve with, as a part of, not in the defense services, but as a part of it, when Indian troops were there in what was the Gaza Strip, seeking to restore the balance or restore the peace on behalf of the United Nations. That's a very deep personal thing, and repeated visits to Palestine have only deepened it. This morning, when I was preparing for this webinar, and Ranjan Solomon was frantic that we make it substantive, the newspaper of the day in India today were talking about the fact that after a long time, elections are to be held in Palestine. And later in the paragraphs, maybe the sixth paragraph, it mentioned that the situation towards the elections is again under some sort of a question mark, because the government of Israel, which oversees all of these larger security issues in that landmass it is occupied, isn't very keen. Or that is how the news agencies gave it, and that's how we saw it, because the national TV media gives zero coverage to such things, and even newspapers, barring one or two, reduce Gaza Strip to like a geographic footnote in the bigger things that they do about the US, about Russia, about Israel, about Benjamin Netanyahu, which are the dominant discourse in the media in India. And therefore, I think webinars of this sort, which focus on Gaza today and on larger issues of Palestine, on the gross betrayal of human rights, on the gross betrayal of promises that had been repeatedly given, not only by Israel, but by the neighborhood, or who have all reneged. And the situation in the US and Russia and Iran and Saudi Arabia changing rapidly has not really magnified or consolidated or solidified the assurances that have been given to the people of Palestine. And therefore, this particular webinar, and as I said, beginning, the lethal siege of Gaza, if I were to parse it, every one of the verbs, the words, the adjectives, and the nouns there are so pregnant with meaning. For us, in the global media, where issues of larger peace are involved, for those of us in India who love the Palestinians and their such brave, biblical struggle for freedom, something beyond Moses, really. My people go. And particularly for us in India, who have fought colonialism, who have seen a reversal of the situation now. It is in this context that I throw open this Zoom conference on the lethal siege of Gaza.
The bombs fell down like acid rain through the tears and the blood.